Now we're on Mike's time. Want to welcome everybody to the brand new The Speedway Review powered by NASCAR Daily. For the Speedway Review fans, I am a man who needs no introduction, but for the NASCAR Daily fans, I'm going to tell you my name is Chris Burns, and I am one half, formerly, of the Speedway Review. To my immediate whatever side he's on this side. It's my co-host, Corey Huffnagel, and there he is, right there. From NASCAR Daily, currently powering the show. What a partnership we have created. It is Mike McMahon. So, Mike, for the Speedway Review fans, if they did not watch last night's Test Run Jones, give them a little background on yourself, and then Corey and I will do the same for your fans on NASCAR Daily.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me, Chris and Corey. It's great to be back and look forward to being partners with you guys. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
You're racking up quite a swear jar, Chris. I'm almost like I can almost buy myself a pack of gum with the swear jar that's overflowing at this part.
You have not heard anything yet, my friend. Let it flow. You will see. I'm like the emperor. I let the hate flow through me. It's all good.
Good.
There you go.
I'll crack open a Coke with the swear jar money I've got. But
there you go.
Man, I had started in '97, so I'm at just about over 20 years being a fan. We started NASCAR Daily last year. It wasn't under that name, but we started during the pandemic. It was just a group of 5 of us talking when it came back at Darlington to races. We would talk during the races and then turned it into NASCAR Daily. It's a group of 1,600 members. And this season, listening to the Dale Jr. Download and Door Bumper Clear, I decided to start my own podcast, starting with Speed Weeks. And we've been the 2488 podcast, been kind of off and on, had some difficulties, but we're with the Speedway Review now. We've merged together and formed this beautiful yet ugly union.
Well,
Chris is ugly.
I was going to say thank you for mentioning Corey's ugly, because he looks like an orangutan, and what's his name? Blake Shelton had a baby. So, but we love him. We love him nonetheless. And now, Corey, for those from NASCAR Daily who did not watch last night's test run, give them a little bit about you, kid.
Alrighty, so in case you guys are aware, my name is Corey Huffnagel, and so I'm from Boston, which, of course, born and raised. I'm in the Boston suburbs of Peabody. Yes, Peabody is a town, by the way.
Peabody.
Anyway,
spelled Peabody. Peabody, but it's Peabody.
Yes, that's true. But anyways, so I started being a NASCAR fan back in 2005, and when I first started getting into the sport, I was watching guys that have been either retired or now are in the Hall of Fame, and some of them are mostly in the SRX series or whatever they're doing nowadays and so forth. But I will admit, I definitely love the sport. I'm very impressed on how many changes it has gone the last couple of years. And not only that, we've had the playoff system, we've had everything else that's gone with it. And yeah, I definitely love the sport, and I'm really excited about this night. And then not only that, we get to have these people share their comments about racing, and I think this is going to be awesome, and I think this is going to be a fun group.
Couldn't have said it better, my friend. As I said at the top, my name is Chris Burns. I am old. That's all you get to know. Been a fan of NASCAR since about 1984, 85-ish. I've run the gamut. Much like Corey said, most of the guys I have grown up watching are either dead or in the Hall of Fame, or both. Yeah. It's been a fantastic ride. I've had a friend that used to work for NASCAR, recently took a job with the Tucson soccer team, Tucson FC. So good luck, Jason, on your new venture. No longer do I have an in at NASCAR anymore, unless I count the security guards that I know up at New Hampshire Motor Speedway who are off-duty cops. Basically, our show, the Speedway Review, now this powered by NASCAR Daily amalgamation, which is, I had so much fun, guys, last night. I couldn't stop talking about it with people that I knew. This started innocently enough in New Hampshire Motor Speedway in 2017. I saw some ridiculous guy on his gimmick phone, and he's saying, hey, this is Corey from NASCAR IndyCar Central, and I just watched the Xfinity race, and et cetera, so forth. Yeah, that's his name right there. Get it right. Nope. Right there. See, I'm learning. I'm going to learn the opposite finger gimmick. And I looked over at him, and I said, dude, that was good. He looked at me, gave me a side eye. He goes, who are you? I'm like, oh, let me introduce you. I gave him a business card. I told him, I said, listen to my show. Maybe if you want to talk NASCAR sometime. And 8 weeks later, the original name was the C&J Speedway Review. C for Corey, J for my nickname from my former show. And we were off, man. We were running, and we did good for a while. We were on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher. And then incidents, accidents, and pandemic hit. So we decided when we came back, we were doing Facebook only. People can chime in as they please and do it that way. So really great to have Mike on board. Been watching your stuff for about 4 or 5 months now. And, watching your page and thinking, okay, this guy's got something going on. Yeah. I'm going to reach out. And I don't know if I told Corey or if I didn't tell Corey, but I started, kind of watching, making inroads, and then it was just like, hey, Mike, you want to do something? It's that quick. That's NASCAR Nation. Wow, already our first what up. Hello, Jordan. How are you tonight?
What's up?
Jordan is one of my co-founders of NASCAR Daily. He's one of our original members. He has his own podcast, Race Talk with Jordan. Yeah. And, okay. He had a sports car driver, Samantha Tan, on there. He's interviewed Bill Lester for me. And I think he interviewed Chris Wright tonight from the Xfinity Series. So.
Fantastic. Good job, Jordan. Way to go. Let's see.
Hey.
Just before we get into the news lead, I want to say earlier today I was working the phone a little bit because Corey knows that's kind of what I do when I'm on the road a lot, but yes. Got the earbud in. I'm working the phones. So I did reach out to Connecticut modified driver Joey Ternulo, who is currently on vacation in Jersey, and he's recovering from his injuries that happened a week or so ago. Also to Jason Blue from the Stafford Motor Speedway. Both guys are super excited to come on now that we have the technology to get four heads, but mostly for like a pop-up discussion show. Guys, if you're not familiar with what we do on Wednesday nights, we throw a couple of news items at you. We rattle them off a bit. We review the race that was, and then we preview the race that is going to be this coming weekend. Why Wednesday night? Right in the middle, man. You finally come down off a Sunday, getting ready for the weekend. What better place to spend an hour, hour and a half than right here with us on the Speedway Review powered by NASCAR Daily. So, Mike, you're the newbie. You're the fresh blood. You are the red-headed redneck Adonis. It is time for you to bring forth your first news story of the night.
Story numero uno is going to be kind of a review. I'd like to look at who finished in the top 10 this week at Road America, and especially being our first time there, time out, flag on the play.
Taking away from what we're about to do in 15 minutes.
Okay.
15-yard penalty. Go get me a beer. All right. Fair. Thank you.
Okay.
Wow, that was quick. Again, Mike's going to learn the ropes. We're all learning the ropes together. With the StreamYard thing, we could do pop-up shows anytime we want, guys. If all three of us are free, if two of us are free, if Mike and Corey want to get down and get to it, I know they can do it. And vice versa. If it's just me and Mike, what have you. But Mike is the engine that's driving the ship. He is the NASCAR Daily, powered by NASCAR Daily. But, Mike, I had to throw a flag. We're getting ready to talk about Road America in just about 15 minutes.
We're going to do that then. Okay, so news topics only. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So they're celebrating the 20th anniversary of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s magical fairy tale win at Daytona in the Pepsi 400. How about that?
It's awesome.
I listened to Dale Jr. Download with Jimmy Spencer, and he basically came clean on that broadcast. Like, yeah, I did say something in the press like, oh, how fitting that Dale Jr. won. I bet it was fixed or something along those lines. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I mean, we're going back 20 years. Jr. was hot, and he had every right to. But, man, that car was on a rail. All the DEI cars that year were on a rail. And they I don't want to say they couldn't be stopped, but they were always in the picture. And, of course, Daytona is Earnhardt country. So for him to win that race was not a surprise to me or anybody else. For Mikey to pick up second in reverse order of the way they finished some months ago, to me, that might have been a little fugazi. But, again, they go to the infield and they share that hug. And the quote afterward, if I'm quoting correctly, was, "I can't go out and hug these fans. This is as close as I can get to sharing this moment with 140,000 people." And to me, why shouldn't they celebrate it? It was a fantastic healing moment in the racing community. Corey's turn.
All right. So my news topic.
Well, hold on. Could I ask what timeout flag on the play? Could I ask Corey what was your reflection from that moment? Let's hear your reflection, and then I had a little bit.
I got a little ahead of myself, so my bad. But anyways, I would probably say that race, I would probably say it was probably one of the best races, that year. And of course, it was months after Dale Sr.'s death. And quite frankly, I would say it's one of Dale Jr.'s best wins of his career. And if you look at, DEI as a whole, between like 2001, 2003, they were pretty much dominant on the super speedways that year. I mean, because not only, which DEI car you were going to beat, but not only that, it was also of pretty much, which of the Robert Yates cars you were going to be, because those were the only two teams that were really good on the super speedways. But I just thought about that today, and I thought, man, I can't believe it's been 20 years since that happened. But honestly, that was a huge win from that night. And not to mention, that was also the debut for NBC as well.
Right. I gotta say a special hello to my man Strikers McLinch.
Hey,
talked about it briefly last night. It is coming, boys and girls. New podcast, very socio-political. Just I did say the name last night. We're not promoting anything. We're looking at a particular launch, Dysfunction Junction, coming to an Apple podcast near you. Listen to it. Jordan, no problem. Plugging your podcast is the least we can do. Tell your friends about us. You have to return the favor. If not, Mike will
help you.
That's right. If not, Mike will come to your house and rub his beard across your forehead.
Oh, God.
Hey, it could happen.
Oh, God.
All right.
So I gotta say publicly that I was one of those idiot haters that was like, Junior won because they let him win. I was severely butthurt about, anyone that beat Jeff Gordon, I was upset, especially Daytona and Talladega. So.
Let me see if you said the same thing my friend said. Vince McMahon runs NASCAR.
No. I was a teenager at the time too. So I was very, very just very, very intense. So I have since become a Dale Jr. fan starting in 2008, and hearing all of his stories, listening to the Dale Jr. download, and hearing what that meant to him and all of that. I have changed my tune dramatically, but
absolutely. So Corey, you got a new story for us, my friend?
All right, so another news story this week. So Kyle Larson is going to be running the 60th Knoxville Nationals coming up, I want to say this weekend. Oh, no, actually it's in August or something like that. But I tell you what, guys, whenever you put Kyle Larson on dirt, he's just bound to win every time. But especially the fact, he's running the Knoxville Nationals, which is like the biggest dirt race of the year. What more can you say about it?
Right. And anytime we've talked about it before during the pandemic and his suspension, was that anytime you put Kyle Larson, a lot like I said about Kyle Busch last night during our test run, put Kyle Larson in anything with four wheels, he's going to find his way to victory lane. I don't care if it's a little red wagon or if it is, a dirt car or a lawnmower or, a stock car. The guy is that good. Somebody mentioned last night, young money all day. How do we argue with that? He's shown it, and Brandon just says it. Larson is the king. He showed it last year. He won every dirt race he entered. He is that good. And Mike, that's a subject I'd like to hear your thought on.
You don't want to hear me talk about Larson.
Oh, is Larson your Kyle Busch?
Larson, Truex is my Kyle Busch, but Larson is personal.
Okay, excuse me for 1 second. Emma, if you're watching, Mike is not really my friend. So ignore what he says. I still love you. We're still going to the races. I'm still gonna buy you all the Truex gear, but he's just a guy. I'm sorry. Okay, personal rant over.
I'm just a guy that doesn't like people from New Jersey that win championships uncontested in 2017. Uncontested.
Of course, because he was dominant as hell. You, sir, may F off. Whatever.
Come on, here's me watching Truex lead in 2017.
Oh boy.
Oh, he's part of the Empire. Did you see that? He puts that on. He gets in the TIE fighter, and nice. Look, we all have our favorites, and we all have the guys we don't like, except Corey, who likes just about everybody. So Kyle Busch is a baby. All right, Brandon, I'm going to introduce you to 3 letters. FKB. Hashtag FKB.
Got that, Brandon?
You got it. And when I go on a rant, I actually say the F, and then I put quarters in the jar.
Yes.
Okay.
There was one week, Mike, before we get into the next news story, there was one week I was just so hot, and I pulled a $20 bill out of my wallet, and I said, Corey, when I use this up, tell me I can't cuss anymore. Done. I think I wasted, $14?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I was hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you wouldn't believe.
Not even it. And that's going to happen now with Mike here sometimes. He's going to get the full rant treatment, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mike, one more story, and then Corey, one more story, and we'll get into breaking down Road America. Wow. Just wow.
If I had to comment on the Knoxville Nationals, I would hope that the local guy beats Kyle Larson. I know it's a long shot, but he doesn't need to be there. It's ridiculous at this point. So that would be my only comment. The other topic I wanted to bring up with is the current situation of the playoffs and the Cup Series. Can we talk about that?
Yes.
Okay. Especially because it involves your favorite driver, Chris, Matt DiBenedetto.
Second favorite. I still got. Where's my thumb? Cardboard Kevin always watches over me every broadcast.
Cardboard Kevin. So Matty D in the standings, it says he's back in 20th because this was confusing me. Some of them said he was in 20th, and some of them said he was in 12th. There's like a regular season standings, and then there's playoff standings. So I'm not quite sure which one I'm looking at here. I'm guessing this would be playoff standings since Matt hasn't won a race, and he's had some really poor runs lately.
Right. The current playoff standings, if you don't mind me jumping in, at right now, leading by a mere 3 points over Kyle Larson is what looks to be, unless Kyle Larson takes him over. Right now, the regular season champion would be Denny Hamlin in first. Yeah. Now, real quick, I think we've had how many different winners, Corey?
11.
So that leaves you just 5 playoff spots, which are going to fill up fast. In the points, you see Kevin Harvick sitting at 9th, but when you factor in all those different drivers that have won, that drops him to 12th. He's in real danger of missing the playoffs. DiBenedetto, currently in points, sits at 20th with 397. He is 401 behind Denny Hamlin. This is going to be, and again, you mentioned that, he hasn't won a race, all well and good, but Michael McDowell has, but in points, he's in 17th. Now I click this little button, and the playoffs become a different picture.
Yeah.
Currently sitting 13th in points is Kevin Harvick. Sitting in 14th in points is Kurt Busch. Tyler Reddick sits in 15th, and Austin Dillon has the transfer spot. He is 25 points to the good, whereas Chris Buescher is 25 points to the bad and 17th. When you factor in all the playoffs, Matt DiBenedetto still sits in 20th place, 74 behind the cutoff line. Dude needs to, and here it comes. I got 1 quarter this week. Matt DiBenedetto either needs to shit or get off the pot. It's that simple.
I think I said that last night. So my question for you guys would be kind of a two-parter. Would be, are we done seeing these guys who are we done for the year seeing first-time winners? Like not just guys who haven't won a race. Are we going to see one of these? I'm looking, it's about 7 to 9 guys that haven't won a race yet in the playoff spots here. Like your guys like Harvick, Hamlin, some of our hopefuls are in there. Are we going to see one of these magic wins, or are we just going to keep seeing the Larsons, Truex, Chase Elliott's win out the rest of the season?
Before Corey answers, there are 5 drivers above the cut line that have not won. Those drivers are Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Tyler Reddick, and Austin Dillon. Is your question, will we see a first-time winner as in they've never won a race, or a first-time winner for this season?
For this season, yeah. And then you got to look at the guys that are below the cut line too, because they could win a Daytona. They could win like a upset McDowell type, Christopher Bell type win and get in by doing that. And Daytona closes out the season. Sorry.
I'm going to make mine very short and very sweet, and then Corey can go about his business. No, we are going to get at least one more driver to get their first win of 2021. Easily. One more, in my opinion. Corey?
So I'm going to say I think we're probably going to see maybe 3 or 2 more different winners, because if you look at the schedule, you got Atlanta, you got New Hampshire, then you got Watkins Glen, Indianapolis Road Course, Michigan, and then Daytona, which is the regular season finale. So I think if you look at it, the road courses, I think we could possibly get a surprise winner, unless it's Chase Elliott, which of course has been dominant on road courses.
Or Larson, or even Truex, yeah.
Or Larson or Truex. But if you look at it, I think most of these races are going to come down with repeats because, Larson, I think he could pretty much win Atlanta and Michigan. And then, of course, Watkins Glen, Indianapolis Road Course will probably be Chase Elliott. Then Michigan, I would probably say Larson. But then comes Daytona. Now, I think Daytona is going to be the biggest wild card if we're going to get a first-time winner or a different winner, or maybe somebody that's like probably 25th in points or close to 30th in points that could just sneak their way in. And, of course,
like Byron last year.
Yeah, like Byron did last year as well. So I think if you look at it, I think Daytona is going to be really interesting to watch because we've seen some good finishes down there, especially in the summer races. But I would probably say at this point, it's basically your championship 16 at this point. But I think we're probably going to see maybe 2 or 3 more different winners.
I wouldn't bet against a guy like Ross Chastain or Matt DiBenedetto, but we're talking about Daytona Oval to end the season. Look out for, I'm going to say his real name, and then I'm going to say the name I say on the show. You can't count out Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who I like to call Ricky Spinhouse.
Yeah, he's a wild card.
Right. And much like McDowell, who was running up front most of the day for the Daytona 500, and then the 2 leaders, Penske guys, crash, and McDowell just takes that opportunity to thread the needle and pick up the win. Ricky Spinhouse Jr. is really good at the super speeds, Talladega and Daytona. He's not much of a snot. Yeah, he's not much of a snot anywhere else. But, okay, I got to open this up for – can you open up Owen real quick? What up, gentlemen? Mike McMahon knows me, but you other fellas don't. I live in the shadow of Daytona International Speedway. It's about 4 miles northwest. Nice.
Wow,
my grandmother used to live on North Halifax Avenue in Daytona. I'm very familiar with the area. Owen, great to meet you.
Owen is one of our founding members as well.
Fantastic. Welcome to the family.
Nice.
Welcome. Corey, you got another news story before we break down Road America?
Well, the biggest news story came yesterday, which of course we already talked about last night. Atlanta being reconfigured, and I'm going to say this real quick. Having the bankings to 28 degrees, I think it'll be very interesting. And of course, some people are saying, "Oh, it's going to be a mini Daytona," and all that. I'm like, well, I would say that, but we're probably going to see the same as what Texas did and so forth. But other than that, I mean, seeing Atlanta repaved. I mean, who knows? If we get qualifying back next year, I mean, somebody's probably going to break Jeff Bodine's qualifying record from like 1997 when he did 197 miles an hour. And this is the first year that they did the quad oval too, which still holds to this day. But I think that's going to be broken next year, if they have qualifying, which I think they will. So
I would bet that they would have qualifying.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now that everything is opening up, and I haven't yet heard, Corey. You and I are both going to be at New Hampshire Motor Speedway in just a week and a half time. I haven't heard whether they're opening up qualifying. I haven't heard what the capacity is going to be. Originally, I heard 30%, then it bumped to 60%. Now I've heard as much as 75%. But this is New Hampshire. Live free or die. Everybody come to the damn racetrack. Just bum rush the show like the insurrection on the White House or the Capitol building or whatever the hell that was back in the day.
Yeah, I remember that, and I'm not going to get into
no political. Wait for dysfunction.
No politics.
In a few months.
No politics. This is a racing show, so that's all I'm going to say.
The only politics we talk about here on the show are racing politics.
Yep.
Why is Hendrick Motorsports killing everybody? That's my one question. You have 30. We have 30 seconds each. Mike, starting with you. Why is Hendrick killing everybody this season?
Chad Canals and whatever the hell they put on that nose. The nose of the Camaro.
Oh, Jesus.
It's Chad. If someone is dominating, it's Chad Canals' fault.
That's
I don't doubt it. He's a hell of a crew chief. Corey, why is Hendrick killing everybody this season?
Oh, boy. When was the last time they were not dominant?
About 4 or 5 years ago.
I mean,
hold on. Well,
because if you look at it, right when Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr., and Jimmy Johnson, all those guys retired, now you have all the young guys that are coming in, like Chase Elliott, William Byron, and of course, Bowman. And then, you got Larson, which of course, was in the Cup Series, and then we all know what happened to him and so forth. And of course, with Chase Elliott, Byron, and Bowman, those guys probably took about a few years just to get their feet wet into the Cup Series. And now look what they're doing. Bowman has 3 wins this year. Chase Elliott has 2 wins this year. And Byron has 1 win this year. And then, of course, you have Kyle Larson, who's pretty much the fastest of all of them, winning like most of the races this year and so forth. I remember a time, in the 2000s, Hendrick was just pretty much unstoppable. And then, of course, there were the years where, Jimmy Johnson won 5 straight championships. And, of course, that was when everybody had to fix the playoff system because of all that and so forth.
Right.
But then came a time where, Hendrick wasn't dominating. And then everyone was all like, okay, Hendrick's not dominating. What's going on? And then, of course, you saw all the other teams win. And then years later, Hendrick finally figured it out. And look where they are now.
Again, but they had that stretch where, they'd win 1. They'd win 2, they'd win 3, but we have not seen a dominant stretch from Hendrick Motorsports like this in quite a long time. And I'd like to bring up, let's see, Brandon. I know you may not be able to make New Hampshire. That's all fine and good. William Snyder. Oh, Brandon. Good Lord, that is the worst answer ever. They're the best.
Boy.
That's dirty pool, bro. Why are they winning? It's not because they're the best, because look, they're the best this season. I'll give you that.
Yep.
But what I'm not going to give you is that they're the best overall. Yes, they have 2,499 wins, and they have Jeff Gordon, 4-time champ, Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champ, Terry Labonte, 2-time champ, Chase Elliott, gimmick Schneebitz all the way down. Owen's answer is the best. And that is simply they're fast. You're right. Hendrick is getting something right this season when all 4 drivers have a win this season. And then you look at Hendrick. You know what? I'm not Brandon, you are right. I may not debate that. Hendrick Motorsports could be the Final 4. But look at it this way. Look at a team like, and again, I'm not being a homer here, but Cardboard Kevin asked me to mention he won 9 races last season. And because of a stupid move at the end of the race, just before the Final 4 was set, he did something he doesn't usually do, and that's wreck people. and he blew it. He could have passed Kyle Busch easily, but no, he tried to cement his way in. He effed it up. No big deal.
He pulled a Truex.
Oh my Lord, I quit.
Oh my God.
Emma, I hope you're watching.
Desperate attempt at Martinsville.
I got you.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
But yeah, just before we go into the race, I'll finish my point, and you guys kind of top it off. What we're looking at right now is Hendrick has finally gotten the right blend of talent, even going back to the Junior Gordon, Jimmy Johnson domination days. But you lose one, then you lose two, then you lose all three, and you've got all the young bloods. Kyle Larson, even though he's new to the team, is the elder statesman of that team. He's the oldest. Mm-hmm. He's got the most experience on the Cup Series. He's ready to go. Even though Alex Bowman, dipped his feet in the water trying to replace Junior while he was out with concussion issues. But seriously, Hendrick has it figured out this season. I said it last night on the test run. Much like Ric Flair always says, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And right now, Hendrick is the man.
Yeah, it's true.
Mike, you're wearing the Chase Elliott garb. Quickly, 30 seconds or less. Who, if anybody, can stop Hendrick dominance?
Who can stop Hendrick? I don't think they want to, honestly. What I've been feeling this year, looking at Harvick and Hamlin, Stewart Haas and Gibbs, other than Kyle Busch and Truex, off and on. But the Hamlin Harvick situation to me feels like they're investing in the next gen car, and they're not that concerned about what they bring to the track this year. Either that, or people finally figured out how to adjust the car as is without qualifying in practice. This is, right. Or it could be just the magical algorithm that is giving away pole positions. Like I mentioned last night with Almirola doing much better once he was able to qualify and show what he can do in qualifying.
Absolutely. And a couple comments coming through before we go to Road America. I want to start with Brandon. After years of Toyota and Ford dominating the season, Chevy is finally doing something right, and Chad Knaus is playing a big role in Hendrick victories. Can't disagree with you, kid. And I don't like Chad Knaus. I think he's the biggest cheater in NASCAR, but then again, he's the only one that has probably racked up these penalties that we know about, because now in the last 15, 20 years, we get more of that information. We never knew if a crew chief got bounced back in 1997 for cheating. We didn't know that. We live in a different era now, and it's always Chad Knaus, or, nowadays, whether it's Rodney Childers or Todd Gordon or whomever, what have you. Brandon shoots in with who's going to stop the dominance? Kevin or Denny? I like that answer. I hope it's one of those two. And then go ahead.
No, I was trying to interject. Now I forgot what I was going to say.
It was probably something bad about Truex.
No.
Okay. Last comment before we go to breaking it down. Do you remember back in the 90s, Gordon was winning 13 races a year, and Jack Roush came out raising hell that the tires were doctored? Yes, I do. In fact, I think Jack Roush said they were soaking them in a compound that made the tires tougher, whereas other guys were breaking down their tires. Jeff Gordon was flying on these tires. 13 races one season and 10 in another season. In fact, the year he won 10 races, Terry Labonte took home the Cup. So I don't think there was much to the Roush thing back then in 1996. But then, you go forward, Roush was still, crying the blues. Mike's got a point. Let's get it out of the way real quick.
I remember now. Now, thanks to the Dale Jr. download, we all know that if you aren't trying to cheat, you're not trying to win.
That's right.
He full on admitted that he said, if I'm going to an Xfinity race and it's a one-off, I'm talking to my crew chief saying, cheat it up. I want I want the works.
How cool was that? How cool was that to hear? When he said, I'm going to try to get every advantage humanly possible to win a race because I've got millions poured into this. Fantastic. Last comment before we break it down. It's the team's job to cheat. It's NASCAR's job to catch them. Darrell Waltrip said it best. If you ain't cheating, You ain't trying.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, this past weekend, fun, so much fun. One driver said racing this track was like a roller coaster. You go up, you go down, you go to the side, you go this way. Never had so much fun at a race in their life. We're talking about Road America, and the Xfinity Series went off on Saturday. I listened to it on MRN, the voice of NASCAR, and you'll learn more about that as we go along. But this is the part where in broadcasting we call this laying out, because I refuse to talk about Kyle F. and Busch on the Xfinity Series. Take it away, Corey.
Well, to be honest, I did not pick Kyle Busch to win, which of course I either wanted to see Allmendinger or Cindric win on Saturday. But I hate to admit this, but Kyle's been pretty good on the road courses, and especially beating Allmendinger and Cindric, who are probably one of the best. I mean, I take credit on that, but honestly, I thought the race on Saturday was good, except with the Kyle Busch win. And look, guys, we all know that when Cup drivers come down to the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series and stuff. I mean, I will admit this, I'm getting a little bit tired of it, because of course, it's not fair for the other guys that are running those series or whatever. But now I just say to myself, you know what, I may not like it, but I just have to accept it, But that's the only thing you could pretty much think of.
And you've told me that a million times as well. Mike, I guess my question for you, first time Kyle Busch should not run Xfinity. Okay, that leads to my question. Thank you, Brandon. Either he's watched the show before and he's leading Mike into the question, or I have to send Brandon a check for doing that. Mike, my thing has always been, if you have won a championship in the Cup Series, you have no business being in either Xfinity or Truck. I have said that for years. Corey has gotten on my case. Oh, well, it's a chance to learn the track. F off with that. If you have won a championship at the top level of stock car racing, stay the hell out of the underside. Your thoughts?
Well, I can't publicly say that now because Chase Elliott runs the trucks, and I love that. So I can't publicly admit that. But, there's arguments on both sides of it. It's like, we hate to see the wins get taken away. And honestly, like when I first started watching back in 2005, it was like, I'd watch the Busch series to see the Cup guys win. And it was like the guys that couldn't win on Sunday were winning on Saturday. It was sometimes they'd win both, but it was like, they couldn't, they could win Saturday, but not Sunday. So it was like you were watching the Busch series to watch the Cup drivers. Mm-hmm. And I will say that the series from Trucks and Xfinity is 100 times better without any Cup drivers in it. Now,
I agree.
You take a guy like Ryan Preece, he just proved which series he belongs in. He belongs in the Truck Series. He should stop trying. Now, he's one of my underdogs. Like, I like to root for him, but he never breaks the top 10, honestly, in that equipment.
Right.
And it doesn't look like anyone's giving him a top ride either. So
no, and that's sad. And one of the things that you brought up that, it's great for live attendance. You go to these tracks and you go to the Xfinity race or the truck race, and if Corey and I call them the usual suspects. Yeah. If it's all the usual suspects, you probably got 10, 15,000 people there. You put a couple Cup guys in there, now you got 40,000 people there. I would go to every race because I'm there. If I'm there for the weekend, I'm there to see racing. Yeah. I'm going to go to qualifying, happy hour, back when they did happy hour. But it's all about money and attendance. But for me, if you've won a Cup championship, if your name is Martin Truex, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, and Kyle Busch, stay the hell out of the Xfinity Series, stay the hell out of the Truck Series, build a team. Kyle Busch, KBM is fantastic.
Yeah.
but keep your narrow ass out of that vehicle and let those people that are trying to rise up do the right thing. Brandon says about Preece, he's a New England guy and has put in his name in the right place. Yeah, that was a guy that Jack Roush actually scouted and
lost the contract on, strangely enough, much like Jack Roush and Mark Martin scouted Joey Logano and lost the contract for. It's funny how those two drivers, Joey Logano, Ryan Preece, both from Connecticut, they're scouted by Roush and Mark Martin, and all of a sudden, we're going to go sign with Gibbs. We're going to go sign with JTG. Who in their right mind as a starter, if you have Jack effing Roush, I'm going to go sign with JTG Doherty.
I never understood that move.
I don't know either, but
came from.
I always say if you put Preece in a good car, much like I say about Matty D, and Brandon says that I can't wait for Matty D to win his first Cup victory. It's coming. We all know it. It may not be this year. I want it to be this year. I'd prefer it to be July 18th at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, but it won't. He's not really good on flat miles. But, time can tell anything. Keep your narrow ass out of the Xfinity Series. These guys like Preece who went up and thought, I'll go in crap equipment and make a name for myself. Well, only a few guys ever did that. The other guys took the money and the ride, like Joey Logano. No offense to your guy, but like Chase Elliott. He's got a pedigree, but what have you actually done on the Cup Series? He took a multi-million-dollar ride. Now he's the champion. Yeah, he is the man that everybody's out there to beat.
Can we talk about Matt's performance at Road America?
Yes, we can when we get to the Cup Series, because right now I'm going to give you the top 10 from Road America. Other notables, Corey and I are going to give our picks, which Mike, you got me thinking about Matty D. Mike, you are going to be able to make picks this week. Ryan Preece also came to Vermont for the Governor's Cup at Thunder Road. My daughter lives not far from Thunder Road. Never seen a race there. That's a pop-up show. Brandon, keep that in mind. When we do a pop-up show, we'll talk about racetracks we've been to, and that's a great – Mike, write that down. Pop-up show here. Take this. Write it down. I'll write it down. Pop-up show.
I'm streaming this, remember?
I know. Yep. All right, so guys, as you already know, the race at Road America Xfinity race, Kyle Busch came home in first, Daniel Hemrick second, Michael Annett third, AJ Allmendinger fourth, Harrison Burton rounds out your top five. I was rooting for Kevin Harvick until they said he's running a BJ McLeod car, and immediately I wanted to crash into the wall. But Kevin Harvick came home in sixth, Riley Herbst seventh, Austin Cindric eighth, Noah Gragson ninth, and Justin Haley rounded out your top 10. Your other notables, Justin Allgaier came home in 12th. Jeb with a hard B. Burton came home in 14th. I can't wait to get to this guy's name. I laughed so hard when they said his name on the radio. I was listening to MRN, the voice of NASCAR. Let me go down. Myatt Snyder, 23rd. Stephen Light, 26th. Jeremy Clements, 28th. Brett Moffitt, 31st. Natalie Decker, 32nd. There he is, all the way in the Jeff Green position. All the way.
Am I allowed to publicly mock Natalie Decker?
When she does something of note, yes. Until then, just let her stay in the bottom half of the field. All the way down in the Jeff Green position in 36, had to have his car hoisted off of the wall. And right now, currently, my favorite name in motorsports, Spencer Pumpelly, is in the Jeff Green position in 36th. Corey, this is the part, and you get to do this too, Mike. Give me a happy for this race and give me a sad.
Alrighty, so my happy for this one, I'm going to go with Michael Annett finishing in third, and quite honestly, I was really impressed on how this car ran on Saturday, and I was going to say, Annett was going to probably be maybe like a top 3 car, if not maybe a second place car, but honestly, for a guy that's only won like one race in his career, I mean, top 3 is not that bad, especially driving for the 5 team and all that. Yep. My sad, I'm going to have to go with Ty Gibbs. Now, this was a kid that was going to have a shot at winning the race, and then he had the transmission failure, and of course that took him out of contention. And quite honestly, from what I've seen out of this kid this year, this kid's pretty much potential. I mean, I've watched him in the ARCA Menard series. He's literally won like probably 70% of the races by far, and quite honestly, I think he's going to win the championship in ARCA, but I look forward to see what he's going to do next year. hopefully maybe a full-time ride in the trucks, maybe a full-time ride in Xfinity. We'll see what happens.
All right. So, Mike, now that you know what the happy and sad is all about, give us a happy driver and give us a sad driver for the weekend that was Xfinity at Road America.
Couldn't say there was a happy because Kyle Busch won. So once he wins, it kind of just puts a sour note on the whole performance. I would say that I was happy that the race overall was entertaining because my friend said that Kyle Busch dominated it, and that was not true. He did not dominate it.
No.
He did win on fresher tires and all that. Man, Corey took Ty Gibbs, who has like two or three Xfinity wins this year, and I would say it's guaranteed that he's got a Xfinity ride next year, and I would assume they're already pruning him for Cup. The Cup Series is looking at this kid like he's their next Chase Briscoe, Austin Cindric, that type. Just sad for everyone that got beat by Kyle Busch.
That is the best sad ever on this show, ever in the history of ever.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
Understood. My happy is going to go to Daniel Hemrick. That 18 car looked really good all day long, or actually I should say sounded good all day long. By the way, if you've never listened to a road course race on MRN, do me a favor, mute your TV and put it on in your earbuds, and MRN does the best job of describing the action that you're hearing about. They basically put you on the track. It's it's not like listening to baseball or football on the radio. They're describing as they're going through the different turns. Okay, this guy's diving in driver's side left, and I'm like, wow. And I'm painting. I'm at my side job. I'm like, I can almost see this race in my head. This is fantastic. But Daniel Hemrick needs more runs like this. I think he got a raw deal in the Cup Series. Now he's back in the Xfinity Series, and he needs more runs like this. I think not this year, but next year, we could be talking about Daniel Hemrick and that 18 team being a championship contender. And my sad is not going to be because he finished in the Jeff Green position. It's not going to be because I want to say his name over and over again, but because when you have to have your car lifted 12 feet off the ground to take yourself out of a crash, wherever you are, Spencer Pumpelly, you are my sad, and I never thought in a million years I would ever pick Spencer Pumpelly for anything, but there he is. He's my sad for the race. Now we're going to go to the picks. Mike, next week you are a part of this when I go through this. So, Corey, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Corey took Austin Cindric as his lock. He finished 8th. He took Kaz Grala as his sleeper. He finished 18th. Corey, that's a total of 26. You divide that by 2. Your finish is 13. I took Justin Allgaier as my lock. He finished 12th. I took Kevin Harvick, even though I should strike that from the record because he was driving a BJ McLeod car because nobody likes BJ McLeod. BJ McLeod's mother wears Kyle Busch gear. I picked Kevin Harvick. He's 6th. That's a total of 18th. You divide that by 2, it's a 9. And Corey, the 2 points for this week goes to me.
Okay.
So, yeah, you say okay now. When you sweep the week, you make me feel like such a schmuck. But, we still got another race to talk about. And now we're going to go to Sunday. Boy, when you go to a road course lately on the Cup Series, you have 2 questions. Who's going to finish second behind Chase Elliott? And how much is Chase Elliott going to dominate the field? Well, Chase came through the field to take late race ownership of the lead and then went out to a 7-second lead to win this race. And let's just give a golf clap to our friend Mike McMahon wearing all the Chase Elliott gear, Cup Series champion hat Jones. And wow, I never once thought he was going to plow his way through that field the way he did. Actually, I was looking at guys like Christopher Bell, who has won already this year, once on a road course. I looked at Kyle Busch. I looked at a lot of different guys, but when Chase took that lead, I was like, this is over. This is it. Mike, thoughts on Sunday?
Thoughts on Sunday. Kyle Larson got dumped by Alex Bowman.
Yep.
Bowman did walk down pit road later and apologize, saying his brakes were out. But, man, that's just good TV when the best, most dominant guy gets taken out by his own teammate.
Yep.
It reminded me so much of Daytona when Logano and Keselowski got into each other. These are teammates. And, again, you could see, like you mentioned on the replay, you see Bowman trying to take that turn, and he just can't stop. He plowed the snot out of that 5 car. And unfortunately for Kyle Larson, didn't end in his favor. But, again, we're talking about Hendrick dominance once again. Corey, I got to ask you.
All right.
I look at the top 10. It's a pretty level top 10. But it's not happy or sad. Your biggest surprise in the top 10, and I'm going to throw 4 names at you. Kurt Busch, Chase Briscoe, Ross Chastain, Matt DiBenedetto. Who did you not see in your mind's eye finishing in the top 10 this Sunday?
Real easy on this one. I'm going to have to say Chase Briscoe.
I'll agree. But he put his car in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Okay.
He also had a lot of experience there from running the Xfinity Series. So
absolutely.
Yeah. And this time he wasn't driving with his hood on his window.
I forgot all about that. That was just a few weeks ago.
That impressed the hell out of me. I can hate the guy, but you can drive with the hood on the window. He was Ace Ventura, and he was Ace Ventura sticking his head out the window, driving that vehicle.
Right, and it was in the rain.
Yep, in the rain.
Mitch, go back. If I can find it, I'll send you the video when all the crybabies who think they know better than NASCAR on how to regulate a race, they could have ran. They have rain radials. They have windshield wipers. 2 days later, I'm driving back from Hartford, Connecticut to my home in Norwich, about a 40-minute drive, and it's just torrential downpour, and wipers are going. It's barely clearing. Everybody on the highway is doing 40 miles an hour. So what do? Like an asshole. Whoop, another quarter. Whip out my phone. I'm like, this is what you want these guys to drive in. I'm in a passenger car. I could easily be doing 65, but I'm in traffic doing 40 miles an hour. You idiots need to shut up. Or you get out there and do 100 in this crap and show me do it. Thank you, F you, bye. And ended the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, with no defogger and a steaming engine, that's like the interior of the car is about 120 degrees easily.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, all right, got to go back to this now. We're going to break down the top 10, give you the notables, go to the happies and sad points and picks. Guess what, Mike? When we talk about Knoxville and Atlanta, you're making picks. Get ready, kid, because it's your time to shine. Chase Elliott came home in first. Christopher Bell came home second. Kyle Busch in third. Kurt Busch in fourth. And Denny Hamlin rounds out your top 5. Chase Briscoe came home 6th. Ross Chastain 7th. Tyler Reddick 8th. Martin Truex Jr. 9th. And Matt DiBenedetto rounded out your top 10. Your notables. Brad Keselowski came home 13th. Joey Logano 15th. Kyle Larson 16th. We already mentioned him. Let's see. Ryan Blaney was 20th. Alex Bowman 22nd. Bubba Wallace, 24th. Kevin Harvick, 27th. AJ Allmendinger, road course ringer, 29th. Michael McDowell, 30th. Ryan Newman, 32nd. I got to say it because I've been busting Mike's chops about it. Quinn Huff came home in 34th. Daniel Suarez, 36th. Anthony Alfredo, very disappointing. Had a good run early on. Came home 37th. And all the way in the Jeff Green position was Ryan Preece in dead last 40th. Mike, give me a happy and a sad on this one.
Oh, there were many happies. One I didn't get to mention was the corner that Larson blew. I think he was battling Byron, and he just completely took it the wrong way, went off course. But, my underdogs, as I stated at the beginning of the season, Matt DiBenedetto, Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, Bubba Wallace, all of those guys, well, minus Bubba, but those guys were running solid. So my happy would be Ross Chastain. He had a great run at COTA. I think he finished in the top 5 there. And he just gets better and better every week. And that is, that's something that even Briscoe's not doing. So my happy was definitely Watermelon Man Ross. Happy to see Matty D leading those laps, getting aggressive up there.
Yeah.
I think with this announcement of Keselowski leaving, it might have lit a fire under his butt. I don't know, but seems like he's driving like he was last year again, where he's like, okay, I got to put up or shut up. So
Amen.
I love seeing that fire under Matty D. I love seeing him lead laps at a place that he's not known for. My sad would be for colleague AJ Allmendinger. Those guys should have finished in the top 5 with that car. I can't, Corey, maybe you can tell me what happened to him, but I know he had a helmet issue with the hose that attaches to the top of the helmet that blows cool air on their face.
Dale Earnhardt didn't have a damn hose. Knock it off.
Well, that's because he had the wind. He had an open face helmet.
Rusty Wallace didn't have a hose. Knock it off. I was actually saying that during the race when they were talking about his helmet. His sad is the dinger, but go back to Brandon's other comment. Is my happy Austin Cindric performance? Well, considering the fact that Austin Cindric finished his race in 38th, if you're happy with that, dude, God love you. I don't know why, but yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Like, hey, his cooling hose is broken, and I'm just yelling out random names. Harry Ginn didn't have a hose. Shut up.
No, Corey, what happened to Cindric? Cindric, like, his whole engine, shut down.
Yeah, Cindric, I guess what happened was, I guess it had something to do with the rear gear or whatever. And I think this was like right after he got passed for the lead and then he spun. And then that's when he said he lost the rear gear. But I mean, I will say this. I was really impressed that he ran up front on Sunday. And again, like I mentioned, Austin Cindric is probably one of the best road racers that I've seen, like, by far. And, to run a road race in the Cup Series, I thought that was pretty cool. But, with the 38th position, I was pretty sad about that. But again, this kid is logging laps before he ends up running full time in the Cup Series next year. So again, he's going to be running at different tracks next year, and of course, which are going to be road courses included. But I mean, yet again, we'll just have to see how this kid does, and hopefully, whatever ride he sets in, is going to be a big potential.
Absolutely. Whether he goes to Penske or whether he goes to Wood, he's in good equipment. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm not a fan of Cindric in the Xfinity Series, but in the Daytona 500, when that kid went up there, when everyone else was just playing follow the leader, and that kid said, if you guys want to stay in line, go ahead. I'm going to go lead the Daytona 500 and try to win this sumbitch. Coin in the jar. I'm standing there with my jaw like to the ground watching Cindric work with Logano, who they've never even raced with each other, let alone had that Gordon Johnson teammate. I've got you on my radio. We're going to, 2-car tandem the field. They just hooked up like they hadn't known each other their whole career, and that kid was leading the Daytona 500, and I said, boy, I'm sold.
Yep. I'll take it. And Corey, if you haven't given a happy and sad, now's the time to do it.
All right, so real quick, my happy, I'm going to go with Christopher Bell. He won the road course at Daytona back in February. Hasn't really done a lot since then, but finishing runner-up, I thought this was a really good finish for him. And my sad, obviously, of course, I'm going to have to go with Cindric. I mean, he had probably the top 5 car to finish the race, if not maybe a winning car. But, of course, the rear gear pretty much took him out of contention.
All right, I'm going to go a different direction. And no, I'm not picking Matt DiBenedetto, just so everybody knows. My happy's going to go to Kurt Busch after having such problems on the road course just a few weeks ago to come home in 4th. This was a really big confidence booster for Kurt Busch. And I think, the rumors are out there. Ganassi's charter was just bought out by Trackhouse. Is Kurt Busch moving? Is, Chastain moving? Are they both moving? Is that going to open up a spot for DiBenedetto? Is this guy moving? But for Kurt Busch to put on this performance, past champion, fantastic for him. maybe not to Corey, but for Mike, this may sound weird, but my sad's going to go to Anthony Alfredo. This was a kid that was running top 15 most of the day until he had the brake issue, and then unfortunately had to turn straight into the garage when he couldn't stop. And you see him go down pit road and immediately hang that big turn because he just couldn't stop. His day was over, but he was doing really good. And for a rookie driver with a crap ass team, another quarter, he was putting on the performance of his life. This was a momentum moment for him, and then the brakes let go. So that is my sad for the race. Mike looks like he wants to say something before we get into picks and points.
I was going to say, if you're watching this and you're still here, every time Chris says a curse word, take a shot, man. Just take a shot.
If you can make, you know what, we could make this non-family friendly, and none of our viewers will be alive by the time it's over. Right. I'll send you a link of my old podcast. You will find out how quickly that will turn bad. But now we're going to go to the picks and points, and I will lead off with Corey. Corey took Chase Elliott as his lock. He finished first. He took Austin Cindric as his sleeper, who finished 38th, but he picked Christopher Bell as his hopeful. He finished second. Corey, that's a total of 41. Divide that by 3. Corey, your finish this week was 13.6. On the other side, I took Chase Elliott as my lock. He finished first. I took Ty Dillon as my sleeper, who finished 26th. And, of course, until he wins a race or till the day I die, I picked Matt DiBenedetto as my hopeful. He finished 10th. That gives me a total of 37. Divide that in one of the closer finishes we've had this season. I took 12.33 as my finish. 3 points go to me. And now, because we only had 2 series running, we had the bonus question. Where will Bubba Wallace finish? It's a goof question. We all are kind of rooting for Bubba to do well with 23XI. I think we all want Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan to have a winning team. He said at the open of the season, I don't sign checks for losers. We've been signing a lot of checks for a loser this season. Corey said he would finish 14th. I said he would finish 21st. He actually finished 24th. That gave me the bonus point. And now, not that I sweep very often, but the points tally goes as follows. Corey, 57. Chris, 57. Yes, just 6 weeks ago, I was 14 points back. Now we are dead even going into this week's set of races. We start with Knoxville, Iowa, and the Truck Series on Friday. And this is the part where Corey tells us who, when, where, why, and how.
All right, so Friday night, the trucks are going to be racing on the dirt in Iowa. So this is a little bit of a reminder. So 7 o'clock on FS1, you're going to have the heats. So heats 1 through 4. And then the race will be on 9 o'clock Eastern time on FS1. You can catch the Corn Belt 150 presented by Premier Chevrolet Dealers. And
another long name? Jiminy Christmas.
Well, Corn Belt 150. I think that's kind of Cornish in Iowa or whatever. But anyways, because, Iowa loves their corn. So that's how it is. All right. So you can catch the race 9 o'clock Eastern time on FS1, and then you can stream it live on the Motor Racing Network.
For all NASCAR Daily fans, the voice of NASCAR.
Yeah.
All right. So it looks like I didn't go through all of the list. I'm going to go find it now before we're actually going to let Mike lead off this week. As new to the pick set game, he is going to lead off the points. I'm going to the entry list. Give me a second. It's not giving me. Oh, here it is. Let's see. We have mostly usual suspects. I'm looking for someone that is cup. Nope. It's all the usual suspects and a couple ringers. So, all right, Mike, we need a lock and we need a sleeper for Knoxville, Iowa. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with our pick set, the lock is the person we think is just that person's going to win the race. The sleeper is someone who maybe needs a win, maybe has been creeping recently, and you think is going to win, or just, just someone you hope does well. Because on the Truck Series, really, it's a 6-man or 6-person race, I should say. Pardon me for not being politically correct. But having said that, Mike, we're going to need a lock and we're going to need a sleeper for Truck Series at Knoxville, Iowa.
I would like to know who the ringers are that are starting because some of those could surprise you. And I think Corey's going to go with Stuart Friesen. I think I would bet that he's going to pick Stuart. So I'll give him Stuart.
I'm going to give you a 75-25 on that because every time I think he's going to pick Friesen, he surprises me. Right, let me give you guys the rundown real quick. Just going by the entry list, we have Haley Deegan, Michael Annett, Sheldon Creed, Parker Price Miller, Chase Briscoe, John Hunter Nemechek, Norm Benning, who can kiss a bag of butt, Cody Rohrbach, don't get me started, Jennifer Jo Cobb, Tate Fogelman, Johnny Sauter, Tanner Gray, Austin Hill, Donnie Schatz. What he does in his personal time is none of my business. Chandler Smith, Derek Kraus, Spencer Boyd, Zane Smith, Austin Wayne Self, Chase Purdy, Jack Wood, Josh Berry, Tyler Ankrum, Danny Bond, Devin Rouse, Jake Griffin, Brett Moffitt, Todd Gilliland, Ryan Truex, Cody Erickson, Carson Hocevar, Morgan Alexander, Jet Noland, what a fantastic racing name, Andrew Gordon, Brian Brown, Stuart Friesen, Jessica Friesen is going to run this race, Matt Crafton, Grant Enfinger, and Ben Rhodes.
So we have actual heat qualifying races this time. It's not an algorithm. Okay. All right. So they came to play. So give me Josh Berry as a lock.
All right. Writing it down now. Josh Berry. And your sleeper, sir.
Sleeper will be Haley Deegan, the dirt queen.
All right. I have a feeling that name's going to come up again. Corey, Knoxville. Need a lock and a sleeper.
Well, when it comes to dirt, I got to go with my man Stewie. And I did watch him, and I did watch him win at Eldora a few years ago. And let me tell you, anytime you put him on dirt, it's just really amazing, how he does. And of course, I really like how he is and all that, and especially the fact he's from Canada, which is awesome for the most part. So's
Nickelback.
Well, that's true. I mean, Nickelback's okay. Let's just say they're okay. But all right.
So is Chris Jericho.
Hey now.
Oh no.
You keep your GD mouth off the good name of Chris Jericho.
Yeah. But anyway, so Stuart Friesen's gonna be my lock. And my sleeper on this one, I'm gonna go with his wife Jessica. Now,
wow.
Again, she did not race the Bristol Dirt Race in March because, of course, rain screwed up everything for everybody and all that. But honestly, I want to see her do good in the duels or the heats, whatever you call it, and I want to see her run this race on Friday. And what a better way, and what an awesome way if the wife beats the husband or on Friday. Actually, wait, let me just turn that around because that's kind of messed up. My bad.
Yeah, do what you gotta do.
Yeah, my bad on that one. So what a better way if Jessica can beat Stewart in the race on Friday and all that. So I didn't want to.
That just means Stewie has to get her a beer.
Yeah. But anyways, just remember, guys, Jessica's a racer too. And then that's one thing I did not even know of. And I was like, she races too? That's amazing. Yeah. But no, I would love to see these two guys race. And I honestly, I would want to see Stewart win, but if Jessica wins, I'm fine with that. I'm literally okay with that 110%.
Now, I don't know if this is the final, if all these drivers are going to make the field.
Right.
If they don't, what happens, and I'm just throwing this out here to Mike, because of Jessica Friesen, it's never happened in the history of our show. If your guy fails to qualify for a regular race, your pick, I should say, I don't want to say guy, sorry, not very politically correct of me, but you get credited for a last place finish if your pick does not make the field.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Josh
right.
Berry will make it. I'm not sweating.
Don't doubt it at all. And my lock for this race, I looked at all the dirt races, especially the truck dirt races, and I got to go with my man Ben Rhodes. I think he's a really good dirt driver, and of course my sleeper. I said we'd hear her name again, the Queen of Dirt, Haley Deegan. I cannot bet against her. She's really good, and I think despite the problems she had at Bristol in the dirt, this is going to be a brand new experience. It's going to be better for her, and you're going to see her walk away with the victory. Now we move to Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Xfinity Series, where it looks like they're using the algorithm for the race. And unfortunately, I'm gonna if my phone would cooperate, because right now it's being a peckerwood. Well, I can tell you this while I'm waiting for it to work. Kyle Busch wins the pole by Algorithm Jones.
Yeah.
All right, so here's your starting lineup. I'm going to see if there's – yeah, I know. Work with me here, not against me. Looking for Cup guys. I see Ty Dillon is going to run the 23. Oh, I have to say his name because if I don't, Corey will get mad. Running the number 26 is Santino Ferrucci. Kyle Busch is going to run the 54. Basically, usual suspects all the way down. So, Corey, we'll start with you. Give me a lock and give me a sleeper for Xfinity Atlanta.
All right. So, for the Credit Karma Money 250.
Oh, how can I forget? I'm sorry, Corey. Who, what, where, when, and how?
All right. So, before I say that, can I just say one thing about Haley Deegan?
No. Yes, go ahead.
So don't forget, she actually ran at Knoxville in the SRX race a couple weeks ago. So she has a little bit of experience at Knoxville, but now with the Truck Series, it's going to be a little different. But honestly, I would not be surprised if she runs up front and wins the race. But I wouldn't count her out.
No, that same time was super important. You're absolutely right. Good call by you, Stat Boy Jones.
Yes, but anyways, you got the Credit Karma Money 250, 3:30 Eastern Time on NBCSN. You can stream it live on SiriusXM Satellite Radio, and you can also stream it on the Performance Racing Network.
The other guys.
Yes.
And if you follow me on Facebook, I bring live broadcast commentary at the end of each stage and for the final 25, 30 laps for trucks, Xfinity, and Cup, sometimes SRX, and almost never ARCA because we all know Ty Gibbs is going to win. It's not that exciting. So.
I will say, watching Mike do these at the last 20 laps is usually fun to watch. Unless Truex is in the lead, then he basically dumps all over him like a baby with diarrhea.
Yeah,
I know. Pray to God my 13-year-old never meets you. She will probably shiv you like a prisoner.
Oh boy.
Yeah, exactly. She's not going to be.
I love Bass Pro Shops though.
Yes.
Fair enough. All right, Corey, it's your time to shine. Need a lock and a sleeper for Xfinity Atlanta.
All right, so this one I had a little bit of a hard time picking a winner because, of course, they did race at Atlanta back in March, which was kind of different. But now we're going to Atlanta in July, which is going to be hot and so forth. I'm going to tell you one thing. Yes, it is very hot. Thank you very much. But anyways,
slick. This is slick. They're going to
slick. And I honestly gotta say, the racing is going to be a lot better this weekend. But anyways, so my lock on this one, if I'm going to have to take a guess on this, I'm going to have to go with Noah Gragson. Now, this is a kid that I could possibly see, and of course, he's one of those guys that runs the high line most of the time. And I think this could probably in this race where, Noah could actually get his first win of the season. And not only that, clearly could dominate. And of course, could run that high line most of the time. So I think he's going to be a winner this weekend in my book. Now, my sleeper, on the other hand, I'm going to go all the way down and I'm going to go with Josh Berry. Now, he's running the 31 car for Jordan Anderson. And guys, let me just say this. I'm glad that Josh Berry is getting more races in, especially the fact that he's going to be running for Jordan Anderson's Xfinity team. So again, and let's not remember. Well, actually, let's not forget. We're actually seeing Josh Berry, auditioning for a ride. So we don't know what he's going to do next year. Whether if he's going to be in the Truck Series or most likely going to be in Xfinity Series, or hey, maybe if Dale Jr. decides, screw it, I'm going to take my team to the Cup Series. Why not?
That's not going to happen this year. If you listen to the Dale Jr. download, he's pretty much said for the money they're charging or asking for charters, this year is not the year. Maybe in a year or two he would consider it. But no, you're right. Josh Berry not only auditioning for a full-time Xfinity ride, but you're right. The eyes of the Cup has to be on Josh Berry right now because he's done so well as basically a part-timer.
And of course has that one win too. So
right. Go ahead, Mike.
I just would say that Josh Berry is the new Ross Chastain.
Quite possibly. Very good. Now, Corey,
Say
Putting in anything. Yeah.
See that?
before Mike lays down his picks and I lay down my picks, I got to ask you, we tried this with another co-host not too long ago, and we thought about we were going to put him into the running for the contest. Now, I'm thinking about this, and I think it's kind of unfair that Mike is not a part. So,
Right.
because we're tied, we said we would take your total, my total, divide it, and give I think it was a 10-point deficit because he was starting late. I'm going to amend that, and I'm going to ask that if you're okay with it, and Mike, you want to join this contest, and you already know the rules, we talked about it last night, we put Mike at 50 points, which is 7 points behind both of us right now.
Put my thumbprint on it.
You better move that thumb.
No, I'm putting my thumbprint on it. I'm signing up for it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's up to Corey. I'm all for it. Give him a 7-point deficit. Start him at 50 points.
Hey, I'm okay with that.
All right. Well, let me go back to that page in the notebook and put a little note right here with a little asterisk that says 50 points. MM. Okay.
You're gonna regret it, but
doesn't matter. Hey, as long as you pay up at the end of the season, I want my shirt, and it's going to be beautiful.
It'll be the wrong size, though.
If it's the wrong size, I'm driving to your house.
I get a swear jar discount.
35. Get a 35-cent discount, and use the code I lost at checkout, and you can get a deeper discount.
This sucks.
Man, you keep saying that, but I'm 2 years strong as pick champion. Anyway, and that's Stat Boy right there. So how I do it, some call it luck. I would call it, luck. But your lock and your sleeper for the Atlanta race on the Xfinity Series.
Well, I can't believe that Corey didn't go for the dinger, baby. He won there. He's coming back to take another win. He's gonna lock it down. Dinger gets it done. And the sleeper, I had the sleeper and now I forgot. Crud. Oh, Miat Snyder, who won Homestead, which is a rough surface, 1.5 miles. He snuck it in there and ran well. That would be my sleeper. Miat Snyder's gonna get, if not the win, he's going to get a top 5 and rack up those points.
Okay, Mike Snyder, good pick. But I am going to correct you. And usually this would be Corey telling you this, but I'm going to play Stat Boy for a minute. The spring race in Atlanta was actually won by my lock, which was Justin Allgaier. I know.
Wasn't Dinger?
Nope.
Oh, but he won last year.
Yep, Dinger
Dinger
took
won last
5th.
June. Yep.
Exactly. Dinger took 5th. Your top 5 for that race was Allgaier, Truex Jr., Burton, Harrison version, Noah Gragson, and AJ Allmendinger, which was almost my pick, to be completely honest with you guys. But again, I've watched Allgaier at some of these bigger, faster tracks, and he's got the skills to pay the bills. So for me, it was an easy pick. My sleeper, the momentum has been slow, but as Corey knows, and Mike, you're about to learn, I'm all about momentum. He's creeping his way up. He's the snake in the grass. You're kind of waiting for him to break out and be championship potential. I'm going to go with Riley Herbst as my sleeper.
Ooh.
Why don't you gush?
You're bold.
Really? I overcame a 14-point deficit, being shut out twice in those weeks, and I am even with Stat Boy right now in the standings. You, sir, have no standing right now. You have 50 points. Deal with it.
I'm going to be leading by.
You never know, man. That's why they run the race. That's why they run the race, and our picks don't mean a bucket of snot going forward. But we go to Sunday.
$5
pays for the whole seat, but you'll only use the edge. And Corey's going to shut up. The Quaker State 400.
That was awesome.
Thank you. It's lots of years in radio doing that for Waterford Speed Bowl out here. The Quaker State 400 presented by Walmart. Corey is about to tell you who, what, where, when, and why.
All right, so you can catch the race 3:30 Eastern Time on NBCSN, and then you can stream it live on Sirius XM Satellite Radio, which you're going to have PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
The guys that suck.
Yeah.
PRN is the worst radio coverage ever in the history of ever. I don't know why they still have jobs. Drives me nuts. Couple notables to add to this race in the to add. I haven't even said anything. Bailey Curry is going to be running the 15 car for Rick Ware Racing. As I go down the list, I don't see any other names popping out at me. So yeah, that's your only surprise. The 15 car is going to be run by Bailey Curry this weekend. So Mike's let off, Corey's let off. I'm going to lead off with my picks. All of them need a win. All of them have done well at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And in this case, my lock is going to go with the guy leading the regular series points. I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin. Chris, take your pill. Sorry.
Wow.
I didn't know my alarm was on. I apologize. It's getting close to 9:30. Got to take my pill. Hello, William Shelley, whoever you are. He's back again. Like tag team, back again. Sprinkles! Anyway, Hamlin needs a win. My sleeper, it's the only time I've ever picked him as a sleeper in the Cup Series. But again, snake in the grass. You never know. And he's won in Atlanta a couple different times, going with Kevin Harvick. My hopeful, until he wins a race or until the day I die, whichever comes first, is going to be Matt DiBenedetto.
All right.
And now, with a flip of the coin, which I don't have.
Let Corey go.
Hey, Corey, go ahead. Lock, sleeper, hopeful.
Ooh, I've been thinking about this one, and this one's pretty easy for me. My lock on this one, I'm going to go with the guy that led the most laps back in the spring, which should have won. My lock, I'm going to go with Kyle Larson.
I figured as much.
Yeah. Because honestly, like, he was leading the most laps, but how did he not win the race?
You want the answer? Do you want an actual answer to that?
Sucks.
Oh no! See, this is
I
why
think I know the answer.
No, he blamed Joey Logano for holding him up.
This is why we can't have nice things. Yeah. No.
Anyways,
I want. We don't have fans.
as much as I want to give credit to Ryan Blaney for winning that race. There was a lot of different shady shenanigans going on at the end of that race between Logano, Hamlin, Bowman. Everybody's fighting for position. It just Kyle Larson, wrong place, wrong time. Ryan Blaney, right place, right time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you still have a sleeper and a hopeful.
Yep. So Larson's going to be my lock now. My sleeper, on the other hand, honestly, like my sleeper on the other hand, I'm going to go with the guy that won last year. I'm going to go with Harvick also. So, and again, he's one of those guys that needs a win. Yes, I thank you, William, which of course, pretty much my lock on that one. But anyway, so Harvick's gonna be my sleeper, and my hopeful, I'm gonna go with the hometown favorite. I'm gonna go with Chase Elliott.
Wait a minute, time out. I'm gonna write it down.
All
but
right.
Corey, you know how I feel about the hopeful position.
Okay.
And you're gonna take the reigning, defending heavyweight champion of the world, a guy who just scored a victory less than 7 days ago, and you're going to put him in as your hopeful?
I mean, I can change it if you want.
No, Kyle Busch. We're good. Pad the stats all you want. I'm going to write it down right now. It's in ink, so it can't be changed. Chase Elliott is his hopeful. Oh, Corey, it only seems like every 16 races I have to admonish you for this. This is driving me out of my mind. But, hey, no, I give you credit where credit is due. Good pick on the hopeful. I don't think Elliott's really dominant or really upper echelon in Atlanta, so not a bad pick. Not a bad pick.
I mean, considering the fact that his dad's won at Atlanta like 5 times and so forth, which, you know, I pretty much say, like, you know, if his dad won at Atlanta, I really want to see Chase win at Atlanta.
All right, Mike, before you do your picks, I want to highlight William Shelley. His lock is Larson. That's kind of good. My sleeper is Bubba Wallace, and my hopeful is William Byron. I get 2 of those. I think I know why Bubba Wallace, because when you put Bubba Wallace on a fast track like Atlanta, like Daytona, like Talladega, Bubba Wallace shows up, and he shows up huge. So not bad at all. I'm gonna I'm not discounting your hopeful. You guys that aren't part of the pick set championship contest, William Byron's already won a race, and he's a multiple-time winner over the last couple of years. Not exactly hopeful material, but I'm buying it nonetheless. Thank you for sharing, William Shelley. And now, Mike, I got to hear it. I'm interested. I want to see how you're going to go with this. Cup Series in Atlanta. Need a lock, need a sleeper, and we need a hopeful.
Okay, before I list my picks.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to talk about the reconfiguration of Atlanta because I didn't get to earlier.
Right.
With the raising it to 28 degrees, making it higher, it's going to encourage the drivers to run that Tyler Reddick line, the Kyle Larson line, right up against the wall. And maybe they won't be as scared and go to the bottom. Maybe they'll, hey, I got to get up here because that's where everybody else is. And I think that's going to, with this new car, that's going to, with the composite bodies like the Xfinity Series, that's going to make racing just a lot more interesting at that track rather than everyone running that Harvick line. Hopefully the bottom, PJ1, whatever, will have traction compound to make more than one line. But that's just what popped out at me when you're raising it, making it higher. Not like Daytona, but definitely it will stand out among the cookie cutter tracks. So we won't feel like, oh, this is just another Charlotte, Texas, whatever.
Completely understood. And I like Williams' comment right here. With the higher banking, it favors Larson due to the conditions getting slick as the race goes on with the rubber being laid on it. Larson, the original, the first time I ever heard on a racing broadcast, not on the scanner, but on a racing broadcast, hearing Junior and Burton screaming, slide job, slide job, slide job. It does favor Kyle Larson going forward, but to your point, Mike, before you give your picks, that high line used to be the Rusty line, the Dale Earnhardt line, and the Jeff Gordon line, which is part of the reason Jeff Gordon lost that race to Kevin Harvick in 2001 because he hung the high line. Harvick went low. Harvick goes back up top. Gordon does the crossover, and they go bumper to bumper straight to start-finish line, and Harvick takes it by a nose. But the faster your car is, the high line is always better in Atlanta. And you mentioned the Harvick line. Harvick does like to hug the low line for whatever reason. However they set up his car, it just seems that he is more adept to diamonding the track versus running it as a large circle. All right, so time to shine, kid. Need some picks.
Well, you had me thinking.
Quinhall, got it.
You had me rethinking because originally my pick was going to be Blaney, but then you made a solid point about Bowman in there mixing it up. Blaney got his. You're right. A lot of things fell his way, so I'm not going to take Blaney to repeat. I will take. It's going to be Bowman lock. It's going to be Byron Hopeful, the Homestead winner, and the guy that runs top 5 every week. And no. Sorry, Byron Sleeper, right? It goes block Sleeper. So Byron Sleeper. Hopeful would be the Watermelon Man, Ross Chastain. He's clicking off these top 10s, working towards the playoff spot. He won at Darlington, he almost won at Darlington in the Xfinity Series. He won Vegas. He can slide those things around, and tire wear is not a problem for him. So
Absolutely. William, I'm going to read your comment real quick. Not only that, going back to my Atlanta point, but Gordon got loose coming off of 4, which gave Harvick the advantage due to Harvick having better tires and the line advantage in 2001 when it was a bottom feeder track. Yes, true to an extent. But if you watch that race, go back and watch that race, Gordon ran that high line all day long. The faster cars want to diamond the track, whereas, young guns just, I don't want to say kamikaze drivers because there's smart drivers, and then there's kamikaze drivers like Cole over here. Whichever way Corey is. And, you have to look at it from all the different angles. And in this one, Williams correct about that last lap, but if you watch that race in its entirety, Gordon hugged that high line all day long. But Gordon liked at tracks like Texas, California, and Atlanta to run the high line because it gave him more push off of the corners to go into the straights.
Yeah.
And that's all I got to say about that. Forrest Gump style.
I was going to mention the Carl Edwards over Johnson 05 win.
Ooh.
Edwards
I remember
railed
that
that
one.
outside line and charged it off 4, stuck it, and took that win, baby.
Absolutely. Great call by you. Now, this is the point of the broadcast as we're getting toward 90 minutes of doing this with you guys. Thank you, everybody who shared comments. William's got a question. Let's bring it up.
All right.
Well, my question is, if it comes down to gas mileage race, who has the best average finish in gas mileage races for active drivers? Corey, that's your question, kid. You are stat lead.
All right. If I'm going to have to pick one on this one, I'm going to say Larson.
Yeah. He did really well a couple of years ago when it was the Truex Larson show. And when it came down to fuel mileage, Larson was the guy. And that was what, 2017?
Yeah. And then I think he won the race in Nashville, I think, on fuel mileage.
More than likely.
More than likely, yeah.
Edwards got Johnson in 04, not 05, says William. Uh-oh. Mike.
Wait. Time out. Flag on the play, offsides for clipping. All right, so this is the part where I come in and I fact check on this. So 2004, the winners in that race were Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson. 2005, Carl Edwards won both races, and of course, the spring race in 2005 was his first career win, and then of course, the fall race in 2005, I think, was his third. Yeah, maybe 3 out of 4 wins he had that season. But yeah, so to answer your question, Carl Edwards won in 2005, not 2004.
And if Mike, if you could never do this again, I would be greatly appreciative. Because not only FKB but FJC as well, not Jesus Christ. Talking about John Cena. I don't want people to get upset. I am very
Edge.
Edge. Oh my God. Anyway, so this is the part where I say to the boys, do you have anything to pimp, plug, or otherwise push upon the people? Mike, go.
Till Valhalla Project. I'm gonna say it every single time. 22 a day, raise awareness for our soldiers, suicide. They're coming back and struggling with PTSD. And give a shout out to Fanatics and StreamYard. And I want to thank all of my loyal fans and followers in NASCAR Daily and following us on YouTube, Stick Shift Mike 24, and Instagram, NASCAR Mike. And NASCAR Daily, man, follow us. Follow NASCAR Daily.
Before I throw to Corey, we need to get that YouTube address because we need Skip to watch the show. Skip was messaging, how do I watch the show? Skipper, we got your back, kid. And Corey's going to send you that information. But Corey, got anything to pimp, plug, or otherwise push upon the people?
Well, not really too much. I know my next go-karting event coming up is going to be about, I want to say 2 weeks in K1. And then, of course, on the 31st, I'm going to be traveling down to Rhode Island and doing some racing. And if Jeffrey Leonard is watching this right now, I want to give a little hello. And, of course, the fact that he's been, I want to say, pretty much trash-talking me on racing and all that. And, of course, he's saying, the gloves are coming off and all that stuff. No, I mean, it's going to make it a really good time. And, I've actually had the privilege to go down to R1 Indoor Karting. It's a great facility. And I'm also trying to get my good friend Jason Mora, which, if he's watching, hello. Jason Mora, he is a really good friend of mine that I've actually had the opportunity to go racing with. And I remember the first time I ended up racing him, not only he ended up beating me out in the Berkshires, but he ended up beating me at the second go-kart place that was out there. And I was actually wrong about him that day, but it was, but it made it a really good time. I can tell you that. But no, I mean, just look for me out wherever I go. And I definitely want to go out racing all around the country and hopefully, tour a lot of these go-kart places and race and so forth. But is it not too late for me to show
Oh yes, you had two things that I wanted you go grab, go do. I'll kill some time.
So,
I have nothing to pimp, nothing to plug, nothing to push. Not at least until September. That's when Dysfunction Junction is going to hit. What are you laughing at?
oh boy.
Look at this comment.
Okay, if y'all want to get an amazing laugh on Sunday, tune in to 10 Live when Larson or Truex wins. It turns out to be the best commentary ever on live. All right, William, I said it earlier in the broadcast. I didn't know about Larson, but I said when Truex wins, Mike dumps all over him like a baby with diarrhea, and it is absolutely true. My daughter hates you already. I just want to let you know that.
Oh boy.
And I don't know. She hasn't chimed in, and neither has my niece. I'm really upset by that. She should have chimed in by now. She watches the show regularly. Hello, Cammie, wherever you are, and hello, Emma. I know where she is. She's in Florida with my parents. But I asked Corey. You had two things to bring to the table just to show, and I'm going to be real nice here. One, how committed you are to that number behind you, and two, exactly how sick you are when it comes to Rowdy Burns. So, Corey, item number one for the people, show it. I got to see this live in person. These are amazing.
Yeah. So item number one, if you guys remember in the movie, this is basically a replica design of Rowdy Burns' Exxon helmet. And it's not really like the real helmet, but it's a customized design. And I got this bad boy on eBay for about, it was going to be around $100-$200, but as soon as I saw this online, this is basically a collectible, and I said, I had to have this, so I was fortunate enough to have it. But the sad part is I can't go racing with it because open face helmet and all that sort of thing, safety and all that stuff. Whatever.
I wish that when I put that on at your house for Daytona 2020, when I traveled up to Peabody just to see a rain out, but I did get to go to Bunghole Liquors, which Mike is going to laugh. What the hell is a Bunghole Liquors? It's a liquor store. Best name ever.
I think that goes in the swear jar, and they should all take it.
Absolutely not. Bunghole Liquors, 3 different locations. Get it in the bunghole. And I got to put that helmet on, and I was like, wow. This is fan-freaking-tastic. This was cool.
Yeah.
Now, the second.
If you guys want to go to Bunghole Liquors, the one in my town, you go to the one off of Lowell Street in Peabody. It's actually about 5-10 minutes away from my house. So
I know.
It's easily like a walk there, too. So all right.
Peabody, Salem, and the third location. I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know the third location. I didn't know there was one in Salem, but I know there's one in Peabody, though.
It's on the T-shirt.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
All right. Before I lose off track, item number 2. Yes, I am going to go off camera for just about 1 second.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. It's just going to be about for a second. But anyway, so item number 2. This is the replica diecast car of the Rowdy Racing car. Customized design. I'm going to just put it a little closer. So, yes, you can see it's a little bit dusty, which, of course, yes. I haven't done my high dusting lately, which I'm going to work on that. But anyways, so this is
disturbing.
The exact replica of the Rowdy Burns Exxon car. It's a 124 scale car. So I actually got this off of eBay for about $155, and the person did a really good job with the paint, and also not only the fact they also did a good job with the design as well. And again, this is another collectible that I like to keep, and it's one of my personal favorites as well.
All right. Didn't you have some paper product? I'm saying that out loud because I'm pretty sure I saw you had a particular, I don't want to call it a book, but a paper product in regard to that movie.
Yes, I actually do.
That's what I want to see.
Okay, so it's somewhere in my house, but the only thing is, I have to run downstairs to get it. But
all right, tell the folks what it is.
All right, I'm gonna tell you real quick. So my brother was fortunate enough to get me the official script from the movie Days of Thunder. Next time on the show, I will show it to you guys, but I'm just gonna tell you real quick. It's an official script from the movie. It tells what's gonna happen and everything else and so forth. Speaking of Days of Thunder, if you guys watched the FS1 documentary of Golden Hour, I must tell you it was really interesting. How they made that movie and the fact that how much money they had to spend making it. But once it came out, I couldn't even believe how much money they made after that. Like it was just probably
William, don't leave. William, do not leave. I want to read your comment, your other comment. But Corey and I talked about this before. And Corey, sorry to cut you off. I was actually in Daytona when they were filming parts of this on the beach, and my brother and I went down for February break. Daytona 500. My granddad and us went to the race, and we couldn't go to the beach that day because they were filming the beach scene where the cars are crashing into each other.
Oh yeah, I remember that part.
And we got to meet a production guy. Didn't get to meet anybody of note, but it was fantastic just knowing we can't go to the beach because they're filming this great NASCAR movie. This was in 89. The movie comes out in 90. So really, really fantastic. So two comments I want to read. Jessica's already went up. William's have a great night already went up. But William Shelley says, Mike needs a Truex shirt.
Oh, that would if I lose, I maybe I'll buy a Truex shirt and wear it for the first day of Speed Weeks.
I love it. The next one William says is well, I would like to thank you all for this live message. Me next time I'll tune in. Got to get the racer ready for the weekend. Got a 3K. Dude, congratulations. Go for it. We are rooting for you. And, of course, everybody, tell your friends. It's a new beginning for the Speedway Review. It's a new beginning for NASCAR Daily. The two heads combine. Well, I meant Speedway on this side, NASCAR Daily. Boom. Like the Wonder Twins. Go to your HBO Max. Look up old Super Friends episodes. Thank you to Mike McMahon from NASCAR Daily. Thank you to Corey Huffnagel from the Speedway Review, as well as myself. Guys, this has been fantastic. It's a new era. This show is about to grow by leaps and bounds. I also want to say, thank you to, all the people that Mike mentioned. Till Valhalla Project. Absolutely. Fanatics. If you want racing gear and you can't go to the races, go to Fanatics. It's not too bad. I prefer to go to the driver websites, but if they have something at Fanatics that the driver websites don't have, that's where to go. Don't go to NASCAR Superstore. They suck. They will put your package in 3 feet of snow, and you won't find it till the spring, and by then it's all mildewy. Don't get me started. F NASCAR Superstore. But now that they're powered by Fanatics, this may have changed in the last 3 years since they screwed up my order. Mother bastard.
Ooh, I hate those moments.
Yes. Oh, yes. But anyway, guys, once again, thank you for joining us. I really have to say, above all else, Corey, fantastic co-host for 4 years and counting. And please, 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 everybody give a round of applause to Mike McMahon from NASCAR Daily. Yes, you.
What?
In the upcoming weeks, you will see pop-up episodes featuring Jason Blue from Stafford Motor Speedway, Joey Ternullo, modified driver from Connecticut. Anybody that Mike can dig up, anybody that Corey can dig up, we will have what? William, you're fired. You don't mention my name. Thank you to Mike and Corey. I'm waiting. I want to see my name. You better hurry up.
Jeez.
Not having it. Thank you, William. Put that up on the screen. Finally, I get recognized. I do hard work. I am Production Jones. I am sending these guys notes. Hey, I need you 10 minutes early. We got to go over a couple different things. But no, I get it, William. Thank you. Thank you for being co-hosts. But guys, this is going to be the new family that goes forward every single Wednesday night, 8 p.m., unless something happens, which usually does between me and Corey about every 6 weeks or so. Hey, can't do Wednesday. Can you do Tuesday? Oh, you can't do Tuesday? Can you do Thursday? But Wednesday seems to be whatever. We will work this out. We are fans. We are for fans by fans. This is what we've always wanted to be. William says, if you ever need me, just let me know. I'm in the drive-thru ordering food. Okay, William, real quick, I need a double cheeseburger, extra mustard, extra onions. Oh, I want to do my Jim.
Give me a Whopper.
I want to do my Jim Cornette voice so bad, and I will put a quarter in the jar for this. I want a double cheeseburger, double cheese, double mayo, double onion, motherfucker. Love me some Jim Cornette. Got to give Jim Cornette a lot of credit.
Can't go wrong with that.
William is one of our original members too. I've had him on broadcasts and podcasts as well. Every time he comes on, that man is in the car in the drive-thru. I don't know why, but his middle name is William Drive-Thru Shelley.
Ooh, wow! Okay. I'm usually the guy that gives nicknames to people, but wow, William Drive-Thru Shelley. Hey, listen, drive-thru. If you can ever be in one place and not in your car, and you want to do a pop-up show with us, feel free. Love to talk to you, bro. This is what we're talking about, fully fan interactive. It's what Corey and I have been trying to do for about a year now. Now we have Mike on board. We're doing the StreamYard gimmick. We can have up to 10 people, which I never want to do. Please, God, I don't know.
I would love that.
I can barely control these two crazy people. I really, again, Joey Ternullo, Jason Blue, I've sent a couple emails out today, which I cannot tell you guys about because if we get it, it would be a huge surprise and a huge boost to what we're trying to do. However, they are some pretty decent names on the lower levels of the NASCAR series. But good God, let's keep this train moving. This was fun. Next time, maybe we don't do an hour and 45 minutes. Let's try to keep it to 90 because I don't want to lose people, especially William, who's trying to get his double cheeseburger right now. He can't watch and drive at the same time. I'm not sure he can walk and chew gum at the same time. I don't know him. I don't want to make any disparaging comments. But, William, you really got to sit down on a couch, get a laptop, get a phone, do something. You want to be a part of the team? Bring it. We got you, kid. Fully fan interactive. We could do a pop-up show maybe every 3 weeks and bring a listener on and have some fun. Mike, you were talking about a Q&A type thing at one point. What is that like? Like ask the host?
I used to put out a status that would say if you want your question answered about the upcoming week, because I do have Jen Nealon, who is a marketing executive at Daytona International Speedway. She will help you plan your weekend, and not just for Daytona. They have a bunch of Speedway Corporation tracks, but she'll help you plan your camping, your infield, all that thing. Jen Nealon, she's in our group, and you can look her up. She's a brand new fan, and she wants to learn more about it. So I have a few people that would ask me questions. Hey, what are we looking for this weekend? What should we watch for? What's going to be the excitement factor? And I would do like a Ask Junior portion at the end, about 5 questions. It was never more than 5 or 10, less than 10. But yeah, so we're doing them interactive style, which works. But also, I also like to answer those because then they feel like, oh, my topic got discussed, and I know what's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think Corey and I have really tried to do that. Now that we have this particular platform, I know Corey loves to read the comments and answer. I certainly, they always ask me the what I call the passion questions. They'll ask Corey, hey, what camber did this guy run? And Corey's like, oh, they ran a 2/3 camber and the gimmick Schnabitz Fernum. I don't know anything about that.
No, me either.
Stat Boy Jones, right over here. But for me, they ask me the passion questions. Like, what do you think about, and I'm going to throw 2 names out here only because I know it's going to piss Mike off. What do you think of Truex and Larson getting together and doing the Schnabitz and the Fernum? Wow. Okay. I thought this, that, and the third. And they ask Corey the tech questions. They ask Corey the stat questions. They ask me the stuff that they know is going to put a quarter in the jar.
Well, you can ask me what's going to be the excitement factor, and I'll tell you what we're going to look for in Atlanta. It's an old, slick, worn-out track. Yep. It's going to be hot. They're going to be slip sliding around. Guys like Reddick, Larson, Christopher Bell, anyone that's good on dirt is going to run that outside line right up against the wall. Or there's going to be the guys like Harvick, maybe Hamlin that can run that, hug that Harvick line on the bottom. Restarts are going to be key. I almost picked Kurt Busch as my sleeper because he won that Las Vegas race on a restart, and we're getting close to the playoffs. So, Tyler Reddick, Kurt Busch, all these guys, Daniel Suarez, keep watching Daniel Suarez.
Oh yeah.
Trackhouse is on a just going up.
Absolutely. And I think, and Corey and I have talked about it last year, or at the beginning of this year, I should say, Suarez got a bad deal coming out of Stewart-Haas Racing. He should have had another year to show what he can do. And now with Trackhouse and the money that, look, not only I don't know how you put this, the partner of Pitbull and Pitbull are putting into this team, and they're giving him good equipment. Daniel Suarez can drive, and he has shown it week to week to week. Sometimes he's had bad luck. Sometimes he's had great finishes. Somehow they have to put the two of them together and get him to victory lane somehow. May not be this year. Like I said about Matt DiBenedetto earlier when somebody mentioned Matty D. May not be this year, but it's certainly going to be soon. Just keep watching. That's we got a timeout.
I have a question for Corey, Mr. Technical. What are we going to be looking for as far as the car setups go? Tight, loose, tape? Tell us be our Larry McReynolds, man. What are we looking for this weekend?
Well, I can tell you one thing. I may not be, the best Larry McReynolds, and obviously, of course, I didn't stay at Holiday Inn Express last night, but I would probably say this weekend, we're probably going to see, guys trying to adjust on the loose side because, of course, Atlanta's just a worn out, grippy, loosey surface. And I actually agree with what you said, too. The guys that run really good on the dirt, are going to be the guys that are going to be the watch for on Sunday and also on Saturday as well. But, yeah, everything that you said, I pretty much agree. And and not only that, we could possibly see some fuel mileage this weekend, quite possibly. But I think what we're also going to see is who's going to have the best tire strategy, who's going to have the best tires. And not only that, the first two stages, we're going to see some guys, stay out while the other guys pit. So that's going to be another thing we're also going to have to watch out for too. But I would probably just say, mostly tire strategy would be key, and then track position would be one thing also.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you guys lead the show out. Talk amongst yourselves. Have a good time. I have to call my daughter. She's texting me from Florida. Dad, you were supposed to call at 9:30. We ran a little long. Not every episode is going to be an hour and 52 minutes, kids. We're going to get this down. Right. We're going to get it dressed, because now we have three heads. We have three people that want to talk, which is a good thing. And people were watching, and we had a great time. We thank you all. But I'm going to leave. I will text you guys in a little bit, see what you guys thought about tonight. But as of right now, I do have to go. As I tell Corey all the time, kid comes first. But
that's true.
Thank you again, guys. So much fun. Had a great time. And you guys lead the show out. Do what you have to do. I'll be watching. Thank you.
All righty, Chris. Take care.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right. Take it easy. All right, guys. So that was Chris Burns from the Speedway Review. Always a great guy to chat with. And, great show tonight. And honestly, I thought it was pretty excellent. And, I think Atlanta's going to be fun this weekend. And not to mention, also, I'm really looking forward to going to New Hampshire next weekend as well. I'm really hoping it doesn't rain up there next weekend either. But you
got to stop saying that, man. You got to not even think it.
I know. As a race fan, that's the only thing I have. That's the only thing I hate. Is pretty much
the worst nightmare.
I know. Because there's been times where, Actually, I don't know if you remember last year's Daytona 500 when it got rained out. I was reading one of the YouTube comments, and I guess there was this one kid, and I felt bad for this kid too. There was this one kid that bought tickets for the Daytona 500, couldn't stay an extra day. And the flip side was that he actually got these tickets as a graduation gift.
Oh.
And I'm gonna just put maybe like maybe a quarter, maybe $1 in the jar. How goddamn awful was that? You know, you get these tickets as a graduation gift, and then rain shits on your parade, and then of course you can't stay the next day and so forth. It's sad, but this is what I thought about, and this is what I should say to every NASCAR fan that's out there, and then everybody on NASCARdaily.com. If you guys are going to a NASCAR race on a Sunday, right, try to plan an extra day, because even if the race gets rained out, then you can go back the next day, watch the race, then you could leave on Tuesday. That's what I pretty much thought of, if I ever want to go to a race that's like outside New Hampshire and all that sort of thing and so forth. But yeah,
it's one thing if you live there. Like when I lived in Daytona for 3 years, if it rained, okay, I'd take a lift home and then watch or listen on the radio till they say the cars are coming back out. But when I was no longer living there and traveled up there in the summer of 2019 for the July race, we got drenched. We got downpoured in the infield, and it was miserable. And we had to turn around and come home and watch it on TV because, like you said, I didn't plan ahead. So plan ahead, race fans.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a question for you. You talk entire strategy. Obviously, on a slick track, you're going to take 4 tires. No one's taking 2. But are we going to see these tire restrictions this weekend where you only have like 4 or 5 sets of tires for the whole race and you have to time them when you get your tires, that kind of strategy?
Honestly, I'm going to say yes.
Oh, you don't know for sure, or you're guessing?
Well, I'm just gonna guess yes, but I'm not. I don't know for sure what they're gonna do this weekend. But I'm gonna take a wild guess on that. Yeah.
Okay. I would guess for Xfinity, but Cup just keeps. I think the Cup Series needs to announce going into the weekend, hey, there's going to be restriction on tires this weekend, because we just pop up and then they're doing the strategy. Oh, well, as a fan, I'm already behind. But that's my only thing I just wanted to say for me personally. Thank you, everyone in the Speedway review. We hope you all join NASCAR Daily and come hang out with us, post memes, post pictures of yourself at the track,
Exactly.
Just have fun. That's our biggest thing. We want to have fun together and be a community of passionate NASCAR fans. I do try to get a little group chat going during the races, and I do my live broadcasts and commentary. But I just wanted to say to everyone, especially our servicemen and women, I hope you had a really fun and safe 4th of July. I was supposed to wear my American flag sunglasses. I forgot. But I hope everyone had an amazing 4th of July, and thank all of my all of my people that showed up and were commenting and everything like that. And Caden, we missed you tonight. I don't know why I didn't see you tonight, but Caden's one of my favorite guys. He loves Days of Thunder, and he races
Who's his favorite character?
I think Cole Trickle. I wouldn't say Rowdy. I would say probably Cole.
Oh, okay. I'm all right with Cole, but yeah. So basically, if you just look around my room, I basically have almost everything Rowdy, memorabilia and all that stuff. And actually, before we chat, I'm gonna just turn the camera just a little bit. So I actually got one of these pictures not too long ago. I'm just gonna just see right here. So this picture right here. So I actually got this off one of the websites. I forget what this one's called, but so this one's actually my absolute favorite. It's pretty much Rowdy sitting in the car.
Freaking cool, dude.
Oh yeah, thank you. And not only that, I also have. If I could just turn the camera a little bit. I'm a little bit camera Jones right now. Sorry, Chris. But I also got this one as well. That's also a picture of him racing Jeff Bodine. And I also got one of the Rowdy flags right here. And also this little baby that every time I walk in my room and I see that, really puts a smile on my face,
Can I ask you though? We've done two episodes in 2 nights. You've worn Dale Senior both times. What's up with the Dale Senior choice?
All right, so a lot of people don't realize this, and actually I didn't realize this either. But if you recall, I guess Warner Brothers asked Dale Earnhardt to be in the movie Days of Thunder, but what was interesting, and I guess Dale Jr. said this too, was he actually turned it down because Dale didn't want to play the villain.
Right.
And it's funny because so they actually shot some of the movie during the Daytona 500, and you can tell, there was Rusty and Dale. They were driving past the movie cars because they wanted to be in the movie.
Easily.
And at the start of the movie, it shows the 1990 Daytona 500 when Dale's leading going down the backstretch. And of course, like I said, they shot some of that movie during the 1990 500 and all that stuff and so forth. And actually, with Rowdy's character in the movie, he was pretty much, like Dale Earnhardt. He was a tough racer, and of course, he just didn't mind who he moved out of the way and so forth. But I mean, the reason why, and actually, I want to just get this down too. The reason why I chose this nickname, whenever I go racing and whenever I go go-karting, I didn't choose this by choice, and I didn't choose this by accident. I pretty much chose this because I had to earn it. And let me just tell you, it wasn't easy, but there has been times where, of course, I have been running, there has been times where I run pretty aggressive, and of course, there has been times where I tried to move people out of the way, and it makes it pretty interesting and stuff and so forth. But no, I mean, for me, like, I just try to be me, and I just, I work one day, and then I go racing the next, and I just pretty much just say, you know what, I can only just worry. I can't worry about anyone but myself. That's how I can pretty much say right now. But yeah, that's how the racing thing got started. And like I said, I try to do maybe 1 or 2 events a month and so forth. And hopefully next year I can try and go outside New England and go to some of these go-kart places and race. Now, I know that part, traveling is going to be a little bit, questionable of where and when I'm going to plan this out, but it'll all take time, and hopefully it'll all work out next year. So it's just how it is.
You were in the nickname Rowdy or the Intimidator? Which one?
Rowdy.
Okay.
That's my nickname, and of course, if some people just want to just take that nickname, I mean, I pretty much just say, okay, but how good are you though, and how tough are you? Because whenever, and this is the one part I always tell everybody too, because whenever I go out there racing, you have to have no fear, and that's what I have. I really just have to have no fear whenever I go out there racing, because I do not want to race when I'm scared, but I got to race with no fear. But
well, I'm going to ask Chris if he can maybe post our picks on the Speedway page or in NASCAR Daily, so that our fans can look at our picks, and that might make things more exciting for this weekend. And I want to copy them myself, but I wish you best of luck this weekend. And if you want to co-commentate with me, I'm always looking for a partner to broadcast the races with. But I'm going to wrap up and head out of here. And
actually, before I go, if anybody wants to follow me on the Rowdy social media, sorry, Chris and everybody else, but all right. So anybody wants to follow me on social media, so on Twitter, you can follow me at Rowdy51Racer. Instagram, you can follow me at RowdyBurns51Racer. I also have Facebook, which is RowdyBurns51Racer, and Snapchat. This is kind of the weird one. So Snapchat, you can follow me on Rowdy51K1Racer1. I don't know why they have to make me add an extra one, which, maybe I'm number 1, or I don't know, whatever else it is and so forth. But yeah, you can follow me on there, and again, you can follow me where I'm going to be racing, where I'm going to be at. You never know what town I'm going to pull in. And of course, when the circus comes to town, that's when the fun starts, and that's when the entertainment is. And if you guys miss out, oh well. You just have to wait until the next time I come back. Don't know when, but We'll just have to see how it is and so forth. But I'm really looking forward to a first half of the season of racing, and then of course I'm looking forward to the second half of the season in October. So maybe doing some racing in Connecticut. I haven't really thought about that just yet, but I'll see what I can do once I announce the schedule coming up in the next 2 months. But yeah, guys. Other than that, if anybody wants to come race with me, that's great. And I also want to say this too before I close out. The trash talking part's pretty much hilarious because anybody wants to trash talk me, I just pretty much say, okay, but how tough are you? But because I just say to myself, do you really think you have the balls to beat me? But that's just how it is. So.
I would race you if I could, but you're too far away. I am out of water and I'm out of battery and
yes, and we are at the top of the hour, so
I'm going to bed.
The top of the hour.
All right, this was like the after podcast, the post podcast. Yeah. We'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like and subscribe, share, follow, all that good stuff. God bless. Stay safe. And hope you enjoyed the drinking game. Have fun with the hangover tomorrow.
All righty. So thank you guys, and make sure to tune in next week.